The Odyssey. It's been a hotly debated movie ever since it was announced. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, let's talk about it. So, right off the bat, I'm going to say no. This movie is not bad. But what it is a well-crafted movie with bad actors and despicable, inauthentic casting. The music is good, the story was well told, but the pacing is slow and it kind of made for a tedious watch and a bit boring at times. But overall, not a bad movie. The story is about Odysseus trying to get himself and his men back home after the long battle of Troy, and along the way he defies the gods to do so. There's a cyclops, a witch, a sea nymph, a big creature with tentacles, and Zendaya. Some things I didn't like were the multicultural Greeks. It's usually not an issue for a fantasy story, but if we're going to cast movies like Moana and the Avatar: The Last Airbender show to be accurate to the original casting, then the same thing should be done for movies with white people. Like, why was Travis Scott the rapper in this movie at all? His casting made no difference to the overall story, so it literally could have been anybody. Why did Nolan choose him? And the same goes for Ellen Page for that matter. She plays an entirely made-up character that actually replaces Achilles from the original story. She's not really a great actress in this, or even in general, so why even pick her for this role? Now, I don't think Nolan has some DEI agenda. I think he just chose actors that were either famous or ones he's worked well with in the past on different movies, such as Anne Hathaway and Batman. Another thing I didn't like was the armor. No one's armor seemed to fit them. On top of that, it's never very useful, which is something that happens a lot in today's movies, where everyone has on armor, but they still get stabbed right directly through it, or arrows go through it like it's butter. When the movie's good, it's because there aren't any women telling the men what they shouldn't or can't do. Like the Queen telling Spider-Man he can't leave to go search for his father, and Calypso, who imprisons Odysseus for 7 years, completely removing his agency because she fell in love with him. Which I was told by the Me Too movement was bad if it was done to a woman, but it's being done to a man, so I guess it's okay? There is one scene with the witch Circe that is straight up body horror, and it's terrifying to watch. Oddly enough, it doesn't include Ellen Page. Anne Hathaway, who plays the wife of Odysseus, Penelope, gives this pretentious speech at one point about how only a man can sit on the throne. What about my years of experience, she says to Spider-Man. Like, feminism is ruining good stories because why can't a woman do that job? Like, it's written in a time when men ruled the world and women didn't. Deal with it. Most of all of that happens in the first 2.5 hours, and in the final 30 minutes is where the movie actually kind of redeems itself, and you get past all the irritating things. For example, there's a scene between Spider-Man and Odysseus where a dog that's been waiting for him to come home finally sees him and is able to die happy, knowing that he's home, which leads Spider-Man to realize that this man is actually his dad, and he's finally home, and it's a really nice moment between father and son. And if you didn't know, Odysseus returns home disguised as a beggar, and he uses this disguise to trick every one of the people who thought he was dead and thought he wasn't coming back, and the ones who tortured his wife by eating all their food and stuff for all those years. And he finally gets himself in a position to be able to kill these men who weren't faithful to him as their king or whatever. But the best part for me comes at the very end, when Odysseus and his wife are having a conversation about the sea people. Throughout the movie, they had references to these sea people, and everyone was afraid that they were coming towards Ithaca, where Odysseus is from, and along the way they were just pillaging and killing people. And there's a nice moment where Odysseus confesses to his wife that he and his men were those sea people, and he was carrying the guilt of what they had done at Troy along the way. And it's a cool scene that's acted really well, despite the beginning where everybody kind of seems like they're just speaking lines at each other instead of to each other. Other than the casting, it was actually just another epic Nolan film. I'm never watching it again, though, but I'm giving it, I'd say maybe an 8 out of 10, or maybe an 8.5 if I'm being really generous. Anyway, that's my review, so like and subscribe if you don't mind, and as always, live long and kapla.